Welcome to the top of the world.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the top of the world. I'm Simon. This is a new project. Have we built this? Unfortunately not. I was supposed to build it. It's a different story. But we are back today to correct the wrongs and lay a floor. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's have a look. We're not going to go into the wheres and wherefores, but this building was put up by the man they bought it from, and somehow the floor isn't here. Like, it's just not. So I've been asked if I can put a floor. If I just stand there like that, and all you that know, just look for a minute, you're going to be saying, what on earth has happened there? Right, what on earth has happened there? Oh my God, confused? So, we got the main concrete posts, and then we've got these rafters, right, that go straight across, but they're not connected to anything. So there's nothing holding them upright other than these fucking stupid steel brackets that I wish people would stop using. Right, stop using them, you clowns. And then, there's a timber, 4-inch timber on top of this, right, going this way. Okay? And then there's another 4-inch timber on top of that going this way. And that's got a ring beam. And then for some reason, right, whoever was building it decided not to put the floor on at that point, because what you would normally do, well, there's no need for this, right? This doesn't serve any, I just don't even know why this would have done. You could have built straight off of this, right? These 4-inch timbers at 600 centres, because that's the width of the insulation, right? And then the floor. Insulate it, then the floor. No, we've come up another. So we're 4 inches higher than the building needs to be, right? Which is obviously stuck it even more up in the air than it needs to be. And then, okay, well, put these at the right distance apart so the insulation slots in. No, these are all different. So what you would normally do is you would normally put these 8-inch timbers in and you would connect them together so they don't twist. Right? Then you would put the 4-inch rafters on there if you were going to use 4-inch. I probably would have used something a bit different. And then you would lay the floor over it all. Right? Over the entire area you would lay the floor. And then you would cut the floor to size and you put the building on it. No. What they've done is they put the building direct onto the rafters. Onto the joists. So the wall's sitting direct onto the joists. And then to add insult to injury, they put the doors in. Look, there's no gap. There's no gap. And they're on the joist. Okay, this one's the same. It's in, right, hard on the joist. 0 gap. I hope they've left gaps over the windows. What's slightly concerning is this is not the only building that this man's built on this site. So I know, what's the matter with the dog now? Where are you, bud? Are you okay? What are you doing down there? Why are you crying? What do you want? Is it because you're too sick to... He got better, so I took his coat off because he was struggling from breathing, which has helped his breathing. But now he's out here crying like a baby, even though he wanted to come with me. I really don't want to have to take him back, but I might do. He's a very sick dog. He is getting better, isn't he, bud? And now you look weird because I've taken your coat off. You can jump up there. Jesus. Right, where was I? Criticism. It's really easy to criticise somebody else's work if you haven't had a lifetime of building log cabins. And I don't mean sheds like this. I mean, anyway, bad building practices, so we've just got to put it right. So the first thing you notice is there's nowhere to run the floor, because I've just put that in there, right? I've just put an additional joist. So I've got to run additional joists where all the walls are, because we can't just stop the edge of the floor in no man's land, which is going to cause a problem for insulation. And there's an extra joist in there already to put the wall on. And we got the same problem there. We got to put another joist in there at that end, because the floor's got nowhere to sit, and at this end. So, yeah, and we're way up in the air, which is going to cause a problem for the Arctic wind. Snow lying underneath, it's just bad. And look at the way that's finished. There's no connection on there. And I can't see any obvious connection there. You know, I keep thinking I've seen it all. Right, one bolt and 2 screws in these, okay. So, it is what it is, and we've got what we've got, and I've got to get on. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay down the joists where all the wall stops are. Then I've got to take all these door frames out, and doors. Because there's no point in, you know, you can't, I just don't even understand. So, that's the way we go. That's just where we are. I haven't looked at the rest of it because I'm not paid to come here and look and correct it. Just, can you please lay the floor? So the owners had to go and buy another floor so that we can lay it down. Who knows what happened to the original? Just poof, like a fart in the wind. So how have we got these connections? Looks like one screw straight down into the end of that. So if anybody can tell me what's going to stop the building, other than this, well, there is no metal bracket on this one. There is no metal bracket on that one. Right, there's a metal bracket 90 degree, which is not anchored. Right, no anchor points. You can't see that. No anchor points. Right, broke out the concrete. It's not anchored to the posts. Oh, there's one at an angle. Look. I don't even know what to say about how you can make such an abortion of just a basic click together shed cabin thing. How can you do that? I don't know. But I do know I'm going to put a floor down in it, and that'll be that. I mean, is it, oh, it don't matter. Right. Now I know, it seems like I'm always moaning, whining, complaining about other people's workmanship. Which is why I don't like following on behind anybody else. And I want to make perfectly clear for my fellow Swedes, this was not a Swede that built this. It wasn't, right? And I can't tell you it is, right? Because you all love them. You all think they're great. Nothing good came out of Ukraine. Oh, I said it. Damn. Okay, right. Well, firstly, the most obvious thing, by the huge knots in this wood, well, it's not construction timber. And that's really, really evident in here. So the end of the wall over there wasn't on anything. I just put that joist in, that end one that you can see. It was just hanging. So they've used this bad timber. It's never going to stand time. Never. Look at that. Right, it's just never going to work. It's never, ever, ever going to work. So this end wall here wasn't on anything. So I've hammered that underneath to get that connected. All the timber is split, it's the wrong grade, it's got huge knots in it, and then the worst thing, none of them are connected. They're screwed in at the end only. So, and then here's a great one. Let me sit down. Partition wall. Now, for those of you know nothing about wooden buildings, right, click together cabins or anything like that, this won't mean anything. But for those of you who do, look at that. Look at that. I reckon this guy, before he was doing this, built the Champlain Towers. I do. Right. So that's a problem, right? I can solve that. I'm going to solve that. But that's not the biggest problem I got. The biggest problem I got is when I lifted up all these temporary floorboards, right? And I couldn't quite believe what I'm seeing. 1 log, 5 logs, window. Join, 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 yep, you got it. All the supporting joists are joined there with a single screw. No connecting plate, no cover plate, no nothing. If we go to the other side, straight up the end of that window. What do we think's going to happen to this end of the building? So, for those of you who don't know, you should have split those joins all the way up and down. So there's a join, right? And then you should take a piece of timber like that there and screw it over the join if you have to. That's not why that's a piece of timber's there. But if you had to have a join like that, right, just, if you really got to bodge it like that, right, then do that. And screw it all together. Look. Does that look like one way's going one way? What about the next one? Right? Has it already started? It's already moving. Look at the gaps at the top. See that one over by the wall? Right? Look at that. They're already opening up all the way through. So already this end of the building is hanging. It's under pressure because there's nothing supporting it. Because these ain't joined here. That one is not joined to that one. This lower one, right, isn't joined. It's just screwed together there on the same joist. So we've got all the pressure on this top 4-inch non-construction grade timber. And guess what? It's got a stress fracture all the way through it. See that crack? See that crack opened up? And that's as a result of that. So you've got this centre crack going all the way through here. That's a stress fracture. And then the timber right above the joint's got these 2 big knots in it. So there you go. It's already on the move. Already on the move. And the clients are not in residence, so I can't go down and show them this, right, and say, what am I going to do? So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to correct it. I'm going to fix it in the way that it should have been done, albeit it's too late to start to move, and they'll have to pay for it. And then I've got this video to say, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Because this is shit. Right, I can't leave it because I know what's going to happen. It's already started to happen. Already, that stress fracture through there is a result of this end, or this end, moving. And it's all on this part here, and we can see, because of the way it is, you know when I'm done, right, it'll be brilliant. I see the size of the piece of wood, right, that's screwed on there. That was just for that temporary bit of chipboard there because it was too short. So why would you do that and consider it a good job? Why would you not know that not to spread these? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand how you think it's okay here to put a supporting wall in there, right? Supporting wall. Why? Why would you think that's all right? Right, so firstly, I'm going to correct this before I put the battens on for the insulation. Okay, I fixed all the bad joins and I've put the insulation battens on. Remember that size, right? 21 inches, 500. It's not really, it's 495. Everyone's different. Every single gap is different, and none of them are the correct size for that. So, for those of you who are not with me, if your insulation batts, we'll do it in millimetres. If your insulation batts or 600, right, then your 50mm joists want to be at 650, right, 25 a side, and they'll just drop straight in. Now every single one of these has got to be cut, and they've all got to be cut to different sizes, right the way through the building. What a fucking waste of time. What a fucking idiot. What idiots? Idiots. Right? Everyone is different. You couldn't even mark them up at 650 centres and drop them in. So you can just drop the bats in. What? Ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. Was there enough battens? No? We've had to make them up out of all sorts of... It's just why? I don't understand. Oh. Right, I've got the insulation down. In some places I've had to double insulate down the end there. But that's not my problem. Right, my problem is these doors have got to come out. And you can see the kind of mechanism that actually screws its way all the way through the frame. Okay? Right. And that'd be alright if they're put in straight. And they're not. Think of that. Now, how am I supposed to get that out there without completely destroying the frame? Is this even my problem? Yes, because otherwise it's not going to work. But what am I supposed to do when they use these things? Right? And look how far away it is from everything. Okay, I suppose the gap's not the worst thing, but the fittings and the way they're put in at an angle, things are going to get destroyed when they come back out. Look at these doors all finger jointed, made out of shitty little bits and finger jointed and laminated. You know, when these first come out, these finger jointed machines, I went to a manufacturer in Germany that was doing this, and it means you could make anything at all out of offcuts by finger jointing. So you just use shit, right, and cut the knots out and then finger joint it. So you could use any old crap and just make it good and then glue it all together. And this entire door, right, is finger jointed and laminated together. Does that make it strong and unliable to twist? Yeah. It also means you've got to paint it unless you want to see all these finger joints everywhere. Right, enough complaining. How am I going to get these door frames out then? I reckon I'm going to have to cut these fixings off. Right, I made a bit of a start there just to see where I'm going. I've cut that door frame out in the end. I'm going to cut that one out tomorrow because I don't even know. So it's out. That's what I needed. Right, that's it for today. I think I've done really well. I've worked more hours than I would normally work and I'm pretty naffed. So anyway, that's started to go down. So that'll do us for today. Casper's been lying out there in the sun. I've been working mostly in the sun. And that's it. Now I've got to go and empty the water out the boat because it's been storming for the last 2 days and who knows how much water's in it. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning. The humidity is killing me. Okay, have we got the magic board down? Yeah. So did I work backwards on that? No, I didn't. I worked forwards. Did we end up at exactly the right place? Good enough? Good enough. Could we say that gap could have been, no, not losing any sleep over that. Okay, so I see we got some water damage in that corner. I've got to remember to look on the outside of that. Okay, so now what we can do is we can run all our boards straight through. End of day 2. I don't approve. Anyway, I don't approve of the hours. The result. No thresholds. No thresholds. There's no skirting on. I don't have any skirting. I don't have the trims for the back of the doors either. Now I've got the heads, but I don't have the side trims. I think I'm probably going to have to make them up. Anyway. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Well, you say, Simon, that's the job done then, isn't it? Well, like I say, I don't have any skirting, so, and I don't have the trims for the other side of the doors, they've got to be made. But no, that's not the end of the job. That's the inside done, right? That's what I was asked to do, and that's done. Now, I've got to do something with this. So, the other thing I've got to do is I've got spray foam. Right, I've left that right to the end of the day because I hate that job. I've got spray foam underneath, right? All the gaps, anywhere where air's going to go up the side of the insulation, anywhere underneath, I'm going to lie underneath there, crawl around, and yeah, empty that. And then we're on to the outside, because obviously it's no good like this. I mean, ultimately, it needs the sides dropping all the way round, right? Because that's also no good like that. But before it has have sides on, all these are going to want strengthening plates. Every one of these, right, it's going to want strengthening, and all the way through the middle. Because that's, I tell you now, this is going to roll off of the base. I'll tell you that for nothing, right? I'm not even guessing. This is going to roll off of its base. That ain't never going to stay there, not ever. That's going to roll right off, that is. And in the process, if it's full of snow, collapse. The sudden roll and the jolt, that'll never roll up to that. So, that's all got to be done. I've not been asked to do that, and I'm not going to do that unless I'm asked. So, that's down to the guy that built it. to come back and do the job properly, in my opinion. In my opinion. But in my professional opinion, that building's going to roll off. Right, there's water getting in this corner. I'm going to say we had less snow than usual, but if you think our normal snow level's going to be up to these windows. Right, and this building has no protection. So our normal snow, a heavy snow, will be up to the rafters, but our normal snow will be up to the windows on this side. So it's going to need something doing to it. But again, that's not me. I'm going to insulate underneath, and then I'm going home, and then tomorrow we got to make something out of this lot, because this ain't no good. Right, that is it for that. Alrighty then. What are we going to do with this? Well, it's not really my kind of thing. It's all too twee. It's not really manly enough. And my instructions were not to make it manly. They were to lay the floor. Okay, right. So, you know, there's not enough. What we need in life is we need another John DeLorean, right? Manly stuff, muscle cars, big fucking engines, lots of noise, tyre burning, man stuff. Right, well, we ain't got none of that. We got an old transit van and a dog that's not dead, so for that I'm grateful. Okay, and the roof, you know, it don't extend over the, so whatever we're doing's outside, and we got to stay within this footprint, and what you can't see is, you know, nothing's even here. So I think what we do, and none of this is supported, of course, right, and it's all bad timber, so it's got knots and broken, so we've got to put another support here, but we've got no concrete in which to do it. And what they don't want is a set of stairs coming straight down here, right, which would just be easy, except the building's within the footprint of the... What the fuck? The building is with... Anyway, it's inside its actual footprint. So, set of stairs coming up to here, and the continuation of the decking, except all of this now needs to be supported. Now, also there's a step down. None of it makes any sense. I have got 2 of these, and I have only got 2 of these. So we can bring it up to the same level. There's supposed to be no rain today, right, but I can feel raindrops. Raindrops are falling on my fucking head. Right. So I don't think we should, I think we should double joist this, right, for no reason, because if we were just copying what they've done, and put the stairs at the same level, there's no point in having a lower deck and an upper deck. Right, I'm framed out. I put one support there because I wanted to do it before I put the stairs in. Obviously I've got to put more because that's all leaning this way, so I had to really lever that up to get that level. But I've done the deck frame with my noggins, filled in between with my noggins, obviously, unlike anything else here. And now I've got my stair frames down, my carcassing in, whatever you want to call it, my springers. I've got to put treads and risers on it now, obviously. I was in the middle of talking and it cut off. I don't even know if I've got enough rib material. What do I need? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Okay, well I got that. But that's all I got. So, right, let's have coffee now. Yeah. You see how these are all twisted at the end? Well, if they'd got noggins in between, well, that wouldn't have happened. So that's why you... Anyway. Okay. That's right, what's weird... I've got 3 bits down there, and I need a bit for the surround there. I found that, right, which is exactly the right size, and exactly the right amount. Anyway, they're just on there dry for a minute, because I wanted to make sure, even though I had measured numerous times, it was like, what's happening here? Okay. So now the only thing I need to think about is, do I have my pencil that way, or that way? That way is definitely better for snow, right? Definitely better for snow. But the gap's been turned the other way on there, right? So the gaps are small. So I've left my gap, right, that way on the stairs, because obviously you want as much snow as possible to fall through, and then when you're shoveling the snow, you want as much as possible to fall through. And I think, irrespective of what's been done on there, I think I'm going to put the big gaps. I think I'm going to put the big gaps on the deck outside. That's what I think. That's where it should be anyway. Just we need the snow, and then when the water's it's all melting, we need it to run off quick. Right. Let's get that lot nailed on there then. It's going to be my first use of nails. I'm not really, you know, I'm a screw man. But anyway, I'm going to nail it on. I'm going to put ring shanks in it. Is that going to come back and bite me? Well, you ain't taking them out without smashing everything, are you? With screws, you can undo screws and take things off once you've nailed it on there. Anyway, everything else is nailed, so... Okay, so you saw it in time lapse. What did it take real time? 15 minutes. So because of the shoulder, I have to use the nail gun if I don't screw, because I can't hammer nails anymore. And for those who've been around a long time, you'll remember that huge deck I did by the lake. I don't know what it was, 8-10 weeks after my back operation, after my surgery. It's that, on my knees, bent down. Just murders my back. I can't do that, so I have to do it quick. Anyway, so there we go. So that's really all I've been asked for. We can see all the things that are missing: the trim, the front, the top, the join, the handrail, posts. I haven't been asked to do that. I can see it needs doing, but I've not been asked to do it. What I was asked to do was lay the floor, build some steps, extend the decking. Done. Right, done. So already been a long day. How much more do I want to do? You know me, I like to finish it. This needs a wide board down there, it needs a wide board down there, and then the whole front needs dropping down. That needs, I can do that, I'm going to do that. And then it needs posts and rails and handrail. I'm going to have to go back and look at the wood pole. Did I keep going? Yep, I did. It's all very basic. Good enough for the summer. We've got a handrail, we've got stairs. Does that decking match that? No. Is it an issue? No. Would be for me. But at least my nail lines are straight, right? Is any of this rounded and sanded? No, it isn't. So I think if the idea was for them to use this for their family for the summer, right, other than picking that up, it's ready to go. Is it finished? No. And when is anything finished? I can see so many details with this cabin that it would take me another week to finish the details. Anyway, it needs a bit of routing and some corners taken off. It's not too bad from here. I'd like to run the belt sander down that edge just to take off the children toes thing. It needs more, I think it needs more. Oh, I've just locked that. Okay, I'll show you where I'm thinking. I'm going to let the customer decide because I've already made a load of decisions right by myself because that's what I do. But if you was to sat there on the sofa and you was looking out there, I'm not sure you'd want any more. Don't know. It's not sturdy enough, but it is there. Yeah, I'm not doing any more till the customer sees it all, and then they can decide how much more money they want to spend or not. I put that bit in there down there, so I've trimmed that off. I don't like the way the front's exposed at all. Obviously, that really bothers me because those that you know I always close them in, so that's bugging me. So I'm going to call that done as per request. Decking, stairs, floor, insulation, doors, trims. That's what I'm calling that. Yeah. It's got to be for the love of cabins, right? Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.